Hi, let's talk colic. Now, I know how utterly distressing this can be as a new mum, particularly if you're a first time mum and you're finding your feet and you're not really sure what you're doing, are you? Let's be honest. And this intense crying comes on between 3 and 6 weeks of age, and you haven't a clue what's wrong. You don't know how to soothe them, and it keeps happening more and more frequently, and it usually happens late afternoon or tea time-ish, which unfortunately isn't a great time for you either, is it? Because you're probably knackered, you've had your baby all day and you're ready for a break, and who wouldn't be? It's tough being a mum. Um, and the colic or the crying seems to be worse when you lay your baby down. So it's best to keep your baby upright. Now, another tip to try is to not overfeed your baby. So if you can imagine your baby's tummy is only the size of their clenched fist, so possibly only that small, if not smaller than that. So it's very easy to overfeed them. Now, you need to be careful with this, but what you need to do is you need to try feeding twice as often, half the feed. So I think perhaps with bottle feeding that's easier, because if you're giving them 3 or 4 ounces, then you can give them 2 ounces, maybe wait half an hour, wind them, soothe them, and give them it again. It's perhaps more difficult if you're breastfeeding, but maybe you could give them a break in between. But you really do need to be careful that you're not reducing the amount overall that you're giving them, just that you're sort of breaking the feeds up. So basically, try feeding them twice as often for half of the feed. The other thing that lots of mums find helpful is to use a sling, and perhaps using it before the onset of the fussiness and the crying. So if you know that your baby usually starts crying around about 5:30, then it's perhaps a good idea to put them actually in the sling and carry them round about half an hour before, because sometimes that soothes them and they don't start with all this intense crying. In the first place, some mums even feed them while they're in the sling. So that's, oh, and there's another tip, the bicycle movement. So you can lay your baby on his back on your knee, and you can do bicycle movements with the legs, and that helps shift some of the wind as well. So that's 3 tips for you. Bicycle movements with the legs, don't overfeed, try feed twice as often, half the feed, and then using a sling. So I hope that's helpful for you. I know it's really tough. If you can get support around about that time, that is a massive help, isn't it? So just keep going. It's difficult. Bye for now.